All right, so I've been working on a book for a while now, and my new philosophy for writing books is 5,000 words pantsed and then 50,000 words plotted. The numbers are irrelevant, but basically what it means is if I get an idea for a book and I'm excited about that idea, just take it and run with it, and then at some point, usually in the first 5 to 10,000 words, it's like, what happens next? And that's when I sit down and try and outline. And so what we're going to do today is hopefully, I've written about 7,000 words, and I'm going to hopefully kind of brainstorm, and I'm going to start with a mind map. And the goal is to kind of make a really super loose outline and just have some maybe milestones or maybe a direction to head in before jumping back on and, pantsing the crap out of it, right? I prefer the metaphor of gardener versus architect, and the goal of a gardener and an architect is very, very different, but it's useful to have some of the same kind of skills from either side of it to apply to your side of it, right? If you're trying to set up a garden, maybe you want to have some blueprints of like kind of where you want things to be and a map of where you want things to go. And an architect, like a pretty building, looks better with good landscaping, right? And so the idea is that it kind of mixes the sort of spontaneity of pantsing a book and then the structure and kind of direction oriented aid of an outline. Alrighty, so we have done a little bit of a mind map of the book and kind of some of the things that I think might be good to go in. I'm just loose brainstorming, basically. Not so much like chapter titles, but just more like some of the things that might come up, maybe some of the themes. A lot of this is questions. A lot of these bullet points I think are good to get some sort of milestones along the progression of the story, kind of, a direction to aim our arrows, if you will. Some of the slower periods of writing, which is kind of these moments in between where you know exactly what to say and where you're trying to figure out, well, what does this lead to? Because this happened, then what? And I want to make maybe some writing videos about some sort of my philosophies or kind of things that have helped me to finish a couple books. I've written maybe 6 or 7 novellas. One of them I'm not sure I count, but so at least 6 novellas and then 1 novel. This is my 2nd novel that I'm working on. And so there are things that have helped me along the way to sort of develop my voice. And also just like having ADHD, there are things that I think are obstacles to something like sustaining, a novel is 50,000 plus words. My first novel is about 75,000 words. And that is an undertaking that is not easy for someone who struggles with consistency and, discipline, right? All right, so that was a pretty effective brainstorming session, I would say. I don't feel like it's as outliney as maybe it could have been, but I'm okay with that because that's never been my style, I guess, my go-to. And yeah, so as I was looking at some of the bullet points, something I've noticed is a lot of what I was sort of thinking about and brainstorming for were kind of like little beats along the way, not so much like a chapter beat, but like an emotional beat within a scene or within a chapter of, maybe my character thinks this thing or believes this thing or asks this thing, and then what, right? And trying to kind of figure out where it goes from there and what those emotional beats mean for the story. So a long way to go, but I have a clear direction of where I want to head. I think that will help to keep the momentum going. And so, yeah, super exciting. I've been kind of bouncing between projects. So I was doing some illustration, kind of brainstorming and sketching yesterday, and then kind of bouncing back and forth, just whatever I have time for and whatever my brain says, hey, let's work on that. And so I've been trying to capitalize on momentum and excitement. And so that's kind of the goal for the next, lifetime, I guess, is to find the projects that I'm passionate about and then work towards those and kind of find ways to sort of be consistent on the other things that I need to get done as well on the side as we go about it. So thanks for watching.